Alright, scholars, if you're watching this video, you're doing yourself a service because today's lesson is going to be very, very hard, okay? We have to write the equation of a perpendicular bisector. So first off, let me explain that perpendicular means that you have to, this word perpendicular, you guys know, it's like two lines that form a 90-degree angle, right? But we also learned in the past that perpendicular has a particular type of slope, right? So when we talk about the perpendicular slope, you have to know what makes a perpendicular slope. That's one. And the other thing is you really need to know point slope form to be able to master this, okay? That's the perpendicular section. For bisector, you have to know the midpoint, okay? If you know this topic of midpoint and this topic of perpendicular slope with point slope form, you are set for this lesson. If not, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So let's pay attention right here. Let's just say I have this point right here, -4, 6, and you have here this point 2, 4, right? And I wanted to create the perpendicular bisector of this point. Whatever this line is, and you know, I can probably make a side graph like this. -4, 6 is up here, and 2, 4 is probably right here, right? And so this is the line, right? Hypothetically, this is the line. The perpendicular bisector is the line that intersects it perfectly right in the middle and forms the 90-degree angle, okay? Because technically any line could be perpendicular to this. It could be over here. But for it to be a bisector, it has to hit the right in the middle. So this requires us first to actually calculate the midpoint, okay? So step one is actually find the midpoint, take the average of the x's, right? So -4 plus 2 divided by 2, this is going to give me -2 over 2, which is gonna give me -1, okay? So that's the average of the x's. The average of the y's, 6 plus 4 over 2, that's going to give me 10 over 2, and 10 over 2 is going to give me 5, okay? So this is the point, okay? Very quickly, well, that's the point. This is the midpoint, actually. I'm going to write M, okay? So that's the first thing that you have to know. The second thing is, there's a lot to manage here. We need the slope because we need to get the perpendicular slope. So very quickly, I'm going to put it on the side here. I'm going to stack this, -4, 6, 2, 4. And I'm going to ask, how do you go from 6 to 4? Subtract 2. How do you go from -4 to 2? You're going to add 6, right? So at this point, M is equal to -2 over 6, which reduces to -1 over 3. Okay, this is M. So now, putting all this together, I need the perpendicular slope. And so the perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal, right? The negative reciprocal, therefore, it's actually going to be +3. Now that I have the perpendicular slope with the midpoint, the last thing that I'm going to do is basically put everything into, point slope form, right? So here we go. I'm going to do y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Here we go. Y minus 5 is equal to 3x minus -1, okay? So y minus 5 is equal to 3 parentheses x plus 1. Yikes, sorry guys about the camera work today. And from here, you actually now simplify. Y minus 5 is equal to 3x plus 3. And I simply add 5. And I have here the final answer, which is going to be y equals 3x plus 8. This is the answer. This is going to be the perpendicular bisector to these two coordinates right here.